What's up guys, it's Ralph with Pondscapes out in Chandler, Arizona, ready to get after it again. Today we are working on a pondless waterfall, so let's go see. Alrighty guys, so here is our canvas, and what we are going to be working on is approximately a 12-foot long pondless waterfall, starting about where that red lantana is right there. That's going to get removed. We're going to do a retaining wall of boulders out of some of the landscape accent boulders, and so that'll help hold our elevation, and then we'll have a nice slope off to the side, and then we'll have a nice meander coming down, and about where the bucket is sitting on the excavator, that is where our stream is going to end. So enough of that talking, time to get busy. Alright guys, here we go. We have got our aqua blocks and pump vault staged in the areas where we want, and right over here is the area where the spillway is going to go. And we're going to use these boulders. You can see we've already started setting a couple rocks to create that retaining wall. That'll keep the rocks and the dirt off of the root ball of this tree, and it'll stop right about there. This dirt elevation will taper out. That'll look cool, and then we're going to continue it around to over here, and this elevation, this mound, will join in and marry into this one, connecting where the excavator is sitting. And this will be our playground to move that water back and forth and drop right here. Blake, does that sound accurate?
That's perfectly accurate, boss.
Speaking to the microphone.
That's perfectly accurate, microphone.
Jaron, how excited are you to have Blake back?
Ralph, how excited are you to have me back?
Ah!
There we go.
Okay, what happened?
Oh, a whole bunch of good stuff, Ralph.
Explain to me what you have here, Jaron.
We have a hole with some plastic in it.
Oh man.
So
It's a Monday. I shouldn't have to fire somebody on a Monday. That's a Friday thing, Blake. Stand by.
Is that right?
you want me to actually explain it?
Yeah, tell me what's going on.
All right, so we have our hole cut out for our aqua blocks and our pump vault. Lined it with our first layer of fabric. Then we have our liner and another layer of fabric so that our sharp edges on our aqua blocks are not going to cut into our liner at some point in time. And we're also going to want to backfill this with gravel, and that gravel can also poke our liner with holes. We don't want that. So after this, now we just got to start getting to it.
Getting to it.
All right?
That's right. Okay, so obviously we've got a little bit of a gap right here. That's not a big deal. What we'll do is fill that void in with some bigger cobble, stuff that's big enough that where it won't fit through the voids in the aqua blocks and clog everything up. And then we can start working our way from the bottom up to the top. All right guys, so morning number 2 on this 12-foot pondless waterfall. Let's get after it. Let me show you what is happening, what we got accomplished yesterday, and what needs to happen today. Okay, so we got our area spread out and leveled, and got the guts of what I call the system installed, the aqua blocks and our pump vault, and we got that retaining wall built. And so now what we're working on is we're bringing in quarter minus, and what quarter minus is this crushed stone and it has a lot of fines in it, or dirt material, and it packs nice and tight. So that is going to provide us a little bit of a slope right here that we'll work off of and build on top of. That way, if any water goes through our boulders when we bib, it'll roll right down that slope into the pump vault area and just recirculate. So what we need to do today is we gotta get rocking. Blake, we are gonna get it rocking, right? Did I scare you?
A little bit.
All right, so we're bringing in some more boulders. We got some back here yesterday, one load back here. We're getting a second load back here now. And we're, of course, starting from the bottom, working our way up.
What are you doing right now, Ralph?
Setting rock number one.
Numero uno.
One, blah, blah, blah. I blame you for this.
For the rain?
The cold.
Don't blame me, because I don't even want to be here this early in the morning. You got to talk to that big tall guy over there.
It is cold.
It's his fault. He said it's not even cold. So
That's how cold it is.
all morning he's been saying we're just big babies.
Go get the space heaters.
We don't have those, because we ain't big babies.
I hate you. Okay, here is our starting point for today. We actually got some good progress yesterday. One thing that we did a little bit different than what we talked about earlier is we did create an elevation. We flipped the liner, backfilled up against this boulder and this boulder, and we backfilled with gravel. That gives us a situation where we don't have to use so much gravel to create our elevations. You know, there's several reasons why we did that, but ultimately we don't have to have as much gravel, and that helps with our bibbing scenario. So we have got to start working our way this way. And what I'm seeing right now is I'm gonna play off the corner of that. I see a spill right here angling that way, so we're going to come in with a big boulder here, and that'll be a pool there, and then we've got to come back. So based off of the back of this rock, we've got about 7 more feet of streaming and waterfall to create, and we want to get a little bit higher, so we'll be creating another step off of the back of these rocks to bring it up a little bit higher, give us around 24-inch elevation. What is this?
Hey, check this out over there.
Unacceptable. Blake, go get the heaters.
All right, boss. I'll get right on that.
All right, Blake, I see you got some plumbing going on over here. What'd you explain to me what you got here?
Okay, so right now we are installing this heavy cover tape on our liner so that we can run our feed line to our spillway to get the water to go down the fall, have our electrical conduit go through to provide our power, and our autofill line. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of this cover tape, run it the length, install it on this liner nice and tight so we won't have any issues with anything tearing when we run our pipes through our cover tape through our liner. And how we do that is we'll cut a little bit smaller of a hole than we need, push it through so it's tight, no water can come out, and if any chance that water does make it over here to where it would come out, our grade is sloped so it'll push the water down and away from our cover tape and all the pipes and everything so that we can keep everything nice and solid and reliable.
Cool, so no need for bulkhead fittings right here because we're not gonna have water come up that high. The only thing we wanna keep out is dirt coming in, and should there be any kind of water down in this direction, it's sloped, comes right down into this area where there's gravel, goes into our aqua blocks and into circulation.
Exactly.
All right, guys, so here is an example of what we did on the backside. So here's what Blake was just describing. This is the cover tape that is on the back of our spillway. So we did that cover tape, and what that does is just reinforces that hole. So we make that hole, we put our lock nut on, and now we're not concerned about any tearing of the liner. It's a nice tight fitting. So you can see we convert from our 2-inch to our 3-inch line. That is sweeping around. We're about to install that over, like Blake explained, into the pump vault, and then we'll tighten that plumbing up to the rockwork, cover it up, and continue rocking our way out. Okay guys, so things are getting really close. We are about that close to running water. And what needs to happen is we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 levels that need to be bibbed up and foamed. And if you've seen our projects before, you know that we like doing these bibbings. So this is the elevation of our level at the bottom, and if that water turned on now, it would pass through all this gravel. So what we do is we cut a piece of liner that is the same footprint as this shelf, and we're gonna foam all around these edges and then lie this liner right into it so the foam squeezes and gives it a nice hug. And then it keeps that water on top of the liner and projecting over our waterfalls. So what Blake and Jaron are working on right now is this upper area. We've got our spillway in place, and we did kind of a bib type of situation with our spillway. We cut our spillway to match the contour, we cut our liner to match the contour of this rock, and we've got liner coming up like that, and we've foamed on either side of that to try to make it as leak proof as possible. If it does leak, it's going to leak straight down, hit the liner, roll down, stay in the system. But what we want to happen is this little cavity will well up and water will cascade over this top weir. So right now they're looking for a rock that will fit this area and then keep us a gap right there. Something we like to do to camouflage those spillways. We don't want it to be elevated and sitting on top of everything. So working on that, and then we still have more dirt to bring in, but we are getting there. All right, guys, I am super excited about this waterfall, how it turned out. We are all swept up, we've hosed down, we are out of here. So what's gonna happen first thing next week, the landscapers are gonna come by and they are gonna put their finishing touches on it. Now what they're gonna do is run power over to our plug-in area. You can see where the receiver is mounted for the pump, and right there, that red piece of tape on that rock, that's a good spot for them to mount the electrical for that to plug in. And then this other piece of wire that's taped up, that is the pigtail from the lights. There are 4 spotlights within the stream, so they'll connect to that and then put additional lighting around the feature. Now, I know a lot of our projects in the past, you've seen the finished product and you haven't seen it landscaped. I'm not going to make you wait any longer. Those landscapers are showing up and you'll get to see that right now.